This is Erin Hobson with Ryback School of Music, and in this video we are on Blues Basics number 3, the power chord shuffle. So before I get into what power chord is and how to play a power chord shuffle, I want to talk a little bit more about what a shuffle rhythm is. So, if you know what an eighth note is, an eighth note, you're equally dividing time. You're putting two notes within one beat. So if I have a measure of quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, straight eighth notes would be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? So now a shuffle rhythm in the blues is what are called swing eighth notes or swung eighth notes, right? And they're really kind of centered more around a triplet. So if I was going to play a triplet, that's fitting 3 notes within one beat. So that would be like this. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. Now if I meld together the 1E of the beat and the and separate those, I'd have this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So melding the triplet, the 1E of the triplet together and then leaving the and separately. So now you can still hear the underlying triplet rhythm, right? 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and like that. So when you swing your eighth notes, it's more the style of the blues shuffle. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about what a power chord is. So a power chord is really just a root and a fifth, right? So the places where you can play those open on the guitar are on the A. So I have the open A string, and then I have the second fret on the D string, which leaves me an A and an E, just a root and fifth. I could do it on the open D string with the second fret on the G, which would give me D and A together. Or I could do them on the open E string with the open E and then the B on the A string together. Right? So there's my 1, 4, 5, and A. My A chord, my D chord, and my E chord. And those are called 5 chords. So if you ever see something like A5, D5, E5, typically they're referring to a power chord. Except for there are certain open chords like a G5, which just means, play a G and add a fifth. But most of the time, they're talking about playing power chords because power chords are roots and fifths only. Sometimes you can add the octave, but in this case, we're only going to do roots and fifths because we're going to add to that. So it's pretty easy to do these in an open position. That's why I always start with the key of A when I'm doing the power chord shuffle with a new blues student. Because you don't have to do any of the crazy stretches with the closed position, which we're going to get to in a moment. So here's our 1, 4, 5, A, D, and E. We're going to go through our 12-bar blues in the key of A, which we talked about last time. We do a little shuffle rhythm. So what we're going to do, we're just going to play power chords, and then I'm going to show you how to add to that. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We have A, then to D, then A, then D, then A. Then we have our 5, E, then to D, back to A, and then to E. It's pretty basic. Most of you might even know that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some of the most common extensions in the blues for the 1 and the 4 chord are the 9s and the 13s, otherwise known as a 6. And the 11 is used a lot too. But for now, what we're going to do, since this is the root, the A, and this is the fifth, the E, we're going to extend that E another whole step, which gives us what? A major sixth, right? So we're going to go from the 5 to the major 6, and then we're going to get this kind of thing where we go. Right? So this is used not only in blues, but in so much rock that was heavily influenced by the blues. So we're going to go through, and so we're going to do this on our A, which gives us E to F sharp here, right? Root and fifth, root to major sixth. When we go to the D, it's the same thing. 0 and 2 to 0 and 4. We have our A to our B. And all the PDFs are available for this, for patrons. And then with our E, we have this. Right? 2nd fret, 4th fret. So it all follows the same pattern. So now I'm going to do that same blues with a power chord shuffle. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's something very basic. You can also add, so I had the major 6 here. I can also add the 7, which is from on the A. So I'm going A to E, root and fifth, root and major 6. If I extend my pinky 1/2 step further to that G, I have the minor 7 of the chord. So you can even do patterns like that, where you're going root, 6th, 7. And alternate those patterns where you go root, 6th, root and 6th. So I just threw the 7th in there briefly as like a little bit of a fill. So you can vary these patterns and go back and forth between them. So it's easy to do this in the key of A because you have all of your power chords are in an open position. Now the harder part of this is doing a closed position power chord because it's such a stretch to get to that pinky. So I have to bend my wrist out pretty far, right? So I have this G, so I have my G root here and my 5th here, so that's my G power chord, my G5 chord. What I'm going to do from this 5th on the 5th fret is I'm going to extend my pinky to the 7th fret. So I'm extending from the 3rd fret to the 7th fret, which is a big stretch, right? So it's the same thing I did in the open position, but now I'm doing it in a closed position off of G. And going to the 7th, that 1 fret higher to the 8th fret to reach that F is even trickier. Right? So if I did a G blues, G, C, D is my 1, 4, 5, right? I'm going to do a G to a C, closed position, back to G. Maybe I want to throw the 7th. Then I go into the C, 7, back to the G. So you can practice that in different keys. Now that's quite a stretch, but it's actually really good for your technique and practicing things with your flexibility, because to get your fingers to stretch that far is quite the feat. All right, so this is a very basic pattern, and it happens all the time in all kinds of music. I mean, almost everything by Chuck Berry, Johnny B. Good, Run Run Rudolph, they're all based on the power chord shuffle. He does a lot in the closed position. Before You Accuse Me by Eric Clapton, that one's an E. So that's a really nice shuffle if you want to learn it. Even basic rock songs by AC/DC, like Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. The verses. They go between E and A. Even things like Come Together by the Beatles, Life by the Drop. This is Stevie Ray Vaughan's song that has the power chord shuffle. I mean, it's endless. Smokin' in the Boys' Room by Brownsville Station. It's another good power chord shuffle example. Have fun and experiment in different keys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, visit www.rhinebeckschoolandmusic.com and subscribe. Become a patron, www.patreon.com/rhinebeckschoolofmusic. See you at the next one.